Hi everyone, my name is Brittany Jordan and I'm here to talk about topics that I think will make your life better on planet Earth. So today we are going to talk about one of my absolute favorite manifesting techniques. And I'm including this because I feel that we are all kind of in a crazy place right now, being that we are in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic. And I think we are all looking for just a little bit more certainty, or at least a little bit of guidance and direction. So I'm going to teach you today my absolute favorite ritual for manifesting things that I want. It has a few names. It's called the 2-cup method, or you could call it a quantum leap, a quantum jump. There's a lot of different names for it used in the spiritual community, but I'm going to show you how I do it, and it's something that I've done probably for the last couple years, and I've kind of tailored it to be pretty generic and pretty easy for everyone. So it's a little out there, but if you want to keep an open mind with me and tune in, you can see how I've manifested some of the most awesome things into my life. How cool to think that with a simple exercise and just a couple tools, you can end yourself in a completely new reality. Quantum physicists tell us that there are many parallel realities that we can access. They also tell us that all realities are possible. Now, I understand the skeptics out there. You're going to say, okay, well, I can't levitate, can I? Okay, so there's some limitations. But if you want to get really, really deep, there are people out there who believe those limitations are literally only created by our minds. So if you could somehow remove the belief system that you have that you can't do certain things that seem miraculous or magical, that you might actually be able to levitate. But we'll save that for later because that's not why I'm here. So the concept that anything that has happened, can happen, or is happening is from something that's called the multiverse theory. Obviously, this theme is a little out there, as I said before, but I'm choosing to film this because I do truly have so many of my clients and friends asking me, what the heck did you do to go from where you were to where you are? And just a tiny backstory, I was very, very broke. A couple times in my life, I've ended up not being able to afford my house before. I've had to crash with friends a couple times, and it was only 3 short years ago that I was in the process of starting my company now. So it's really, really crazy how quickly you can transition if you're committed and you're focused. Keep your frequency high, keep your mind on happy thoughts, and keep focusing towards the life that you want and how you want to feel. So of all my favorite manifesting techniques, shifting my mindset to visit a reality that I could potentially have is my favorite. So let's talk about a parallel universe. What is a parallel universe? Where did this term come from? So essentially a parallel universe is a different world in which you are seemingly the same, but your entire circumstances are different. So think living in that mansion that you want, driving that car that you want. I know for me, as nice as it is to have nice things, I'll be the first to tell you, as much as we can manifest these things, it isn't what is important in life. So we'll get more into that in later videos. But for video's sake, let's just say that we all want to focus on living our most abundant, prosperous life in all ways, not just financially, emotionally, physically. Abundance and prosperity come in all forms. And so when you're working on scarcity blocks or blocks of lack and issues with money, you have to start feeling abundant in all areas of your life. So this is super important because we really only attribute abundance and success to my bank account is filled with dollars. But what about an abundance of health? What about an abundance of freedom? What about the ability to travel whenever you want because your schedule is flexible? What if you have the best group of friends, or your parents are incredible, or your siblings are your best friends? These are all forms of abundance. As you're getting used to this new reality of manifesting, keep in mind that while you're not doing the work, you're also doing the work. So focus on what in your life is abundant in the times where you're not doing the 2-cup method. I know, it's a lot to think about, so let's simplify it. We live in a world that is seemingly out of our control. A lot of times we feel like we are at the mercy of our circumstances. This practice I'm about to teach you is going to help you take some of the control back. Every decision that we make, from the food that we choose to eat in the morning, the apartments we live in, the cities we move to, the people we date, they take us to a completely different reality. How insane to think that turning right instead of turning left or staying at that stoplight an extra 10 seconds can literally shift you into a different space and time. Such a huge concept to think about, but so incredibly true. What if you had chosen a different college to go to instead of the one you did? If you didn't go to college, what if you chose to move to a different city than the one that you're in right now? It is a completely different life. You'd have a completely different partner and a completely different job. So these things are actually true. Quantum physics says that these realities exist and all versions of them exist. And so we can tap into that etheric field that's out there and pull in the desired reality that we want now. So the concept is pretty simple. You're going to have your old reality, which will be a cup filled with a little bit of water, and then you'll have your new desired reality. You're going to pour 1 cup of water into the new one, and I'll show you in detail how to do that in a little bit. But basically this works by shifting your frequency. So as you do the ritual, you're imagining and feeling how it would be to be in this new reality. And because of that frequency shift, you start to pull yourself into vibration with the lifestyle you want. And if you do this for a long enough time, quantum physics says it's about 17 seconds of motivated thought and emotion that you put out into the world that starts to draw frequency in. So keep that in mind when you're having negative thoughts too, and I'm also guilty of this, but if you start to spiral, it's really important to stop right there and do an activity to get yourself up and out of it, something vibration raising. Go for a walk, dance around your apartment, do a quick meditation. It's something that I myself have been guilty of in the past of getting kind of stuck. And so it's really, really important if you're going to be doing these rituals to keep your vibration clean in between them so you're actually allowing yourself to align to it without any interference. I like to use this ritual not only to prime my subconscious mind and remind it what things I would like to move towards, but also there's something so powerful about sitting and imagining your wildest dreams. It's such an exciting exercise to be able to sit there and think about what is it that I truly want. And then when you get it, you're sitting in those emotions and to look back and some of the things that I've manifested into my reality, when you're sitting in the moment where you receive it, it is the most wild feeling ever, and you feel so incredibly blessed and humbled at your ability to align to these things. So this is a huge disclaimer, and I want everyone to listen to it very carefully. I'm a big believer in the light. I spend my life on this planet, as long as I've been on my spiritual path, trying to be someone who walks in the light. When you do things like this, it's super important that you set really strong intentions for staying in the light, and make sure that any choices that you're asking for do not impede another person's free will. These things create karma for yourself that can come back. So if you would like to be in a certain state that affects someone else, make sure that before you do the intention you state, I ask for this to come towards me if it is in the highest and best good of all involved. And then I like to pray to God or my angels or surround myself in light and just ask to be kept in a high state frequency. I call upon my higher self and my oversoul to align me to the person that I'm trying to be, and therefore that puts a bubble of protection around you. You don't want to be doing these rituals when you're altered, and please don't do them if you're on any substances or drinking. The reason for this is that it lowers your vibration, it doesn't make the ritual as strong, and it's just honestly dangerous from an energetic standpoint. So what do you need to do this awesome ritual? So I like to have 2 cups. I like my little mason jars. I think they're super easy, and they're super easy to stick Post-its to, which is something that you will also need. You can also just use hair ties. As you see, I have a couple hair ties around the tops of these if you just want to put the paper underneath it. And then you'll need a pen. You'll also need some filtered water. It's literally that simple. So you need about 1 inch of water in your first cup. You're going to write 2 realities on this piece of paper. The first reality is going to be where you currently are. So let's say, I can't afford my rent. Your next reality is going to be where you want to go. So for example, I have more than enough money for my rent and everything that I want. And we're gonna get into how to do this. I will do an example for you guys, but that is very simple, and that's all you need. How awesome. So again, why does this work? What's the deal? By shifting our thoughts and our beliefs and starting to put intentions towards the life that we want to experience, we start to draw those things towards us. There are endless amounts of research and studies done around this, so I'll keep it simple and just say this is something that I have aligned to for a super, super long time. It just trains your mind to start accepting a new reality and a new space. So as you change your vibration and you raise your frequency, you're aligning to a completely different place. Have you ever noticed, or do you guys have a friend who just has terrible luck? Everything in their life just goes haywire all the time. They're constantly getting in car accidents or losing jobs or just consistently spiraling out of control. And I know that, each of us has those little parts of our lives that are more challenging than others. But if you start to think about that, it's because of the thoughts they're thinking and the vibrations they're putting out into their world and their expectations about what type of life they live in. If we can shift your belief about who you are and what you should be experiencing, you will be a person who's wealthy. You will have a wonderful marriage. You will be the person who's impacting in the way that you want. You'll have the job of your dreams. You can have the apartment of your dreams. I found an old manifestation paper of mine that said, I make $1,000 a week. I remember at the time I had $400 rent that I couldn't afford. Now I own a huge beauty company, and it's such a cool thing to look back and see that there was a time in my life where I didn't even make $1,000 a week. I'm not going to share with you the nitty-gritty of my life, but I do really well now. And so it's crazy and so humbling to look back and think, wow, there was a time where I literally could not afford $400 rent. And now that's not something that I even think about anymore. So make sure you hold on to some of these. And that's the other thing. At the end of the ritual, we are going to keep the future reality and we are going to tear up the old one. And I even like to burn it, but make sure you're burning it somewhere safe, in a pot or in a fireplace, somewhere safe, okay? I don't want any fires because of this video. And the last thing is, how often should you be doing this? In the community of manifestors, we have a thought process that once you ask for something, you let it go. Just like when you place an order on Amazon, you don't wonder where your package is. You don't track it down all the time. You might glance once or twice and think, can't wait for that to get here. But when you click purchase, that package is showing up on your door, rain or shine, no matter what, by the end of the week. And so this is the same thing. I recommend doing it if you feel like you need to shift. I have done it multiple times in one day if it was something that I really wanted to move towards me quickly, or if it was a really big goal that I felt like had a lot of energy that I needed to move. Sometimes if I'm feeling negative or if I'm feeling like off path, I'll pick up the same manifestation and ask for it twice. But keep in mind, the more you watch it, the more you think about it, and not letting it go will really, really interfere with its ability to get to you. So try to just place your order to the universe and back out of the way. Okay, so let's go through how this works. You'll notice I have 2 empty cups here. This one has water filled up just about an inch, and then this one is empty. Obviously, if these are the same cups, make sure you rinse them out because I've done a ritual before and it tasted a little like dust bunnies. Then I have my Post-its. So I'm gonna take 2 Post-its, and for the sake of our current climate and everything that we are all going through right now with coronavirus, let's do one for money. So I'm going to say my current reality would be, I am worried about money. Okay, and we're gonna stick that to our cup. And our future reality is going to be something super abundant. So if you don't know affirmations, you literally can look up any affirmation on any topic and pick one that resonates with you. But I really like to say, money follows me in everything I do. That's one of my favorites. So money follows me Okay, so on my first cup that has an inch of water, I have written my current situation, which would potentially be, I am worried about money. In my future situation, my empty cup, it says, money follows me in everything I do. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the first cup in my hand and I'm going to push into it any and all negative emotions that I might have currently about my current state. So I want you to really think about where you're at in your life and really think about what things you want to shift and the way that they make you feel. It's really important to feel how yucky it makes you feel. Then you're going to glance at your next cup. You're going to start to imagine how you'll feel once your life is here. Start to imagine, in this case, I would imagine What kind of car will I drive? Where will I live? How will I dress? How will I feel? Imagine yourself being rained down by dollar bills, okay? So then I'm going to take my first cup and I'm going to pour it into my second. And as I do that, I want to be very present. So you want to hear the water, you want to watch the water fall, you want to imagine your old reality jumping into this new one. And so we're just going to slowly pour the cup in. Okay? So then I like to take the second cup and I like to hold it in my hands and I like to really, really, really think about that reality that I'm manifesting. And I think about how I'm gonna feel, and again, I get really, really into it, get as detailed as possible. And once you feel like you can feel your entire body buzzing with this new potential, you're going to drink the water. As you drink the water, feel it go into your body. Feel yourself shift into that space. Let it fill you completely up with good vibes. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed my video on quantum jumping or the 2-cup method. And let me know if you have any questions or if you'd like any more direction. And leave a comment below if you've ever done this or if this is something that you are totally excited to try. If you liked this video, please like, subscribe, and share with anyone you think might need a little good energy in their life. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.